So welcome to new episodes of Marketing Funnels with Nipun Syal. So today we have with us Tyler S. Clark from Dream Films. Hi Tyler, welcome to our show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
So my first question is how are you feeling right now getting top 10 affiliate of Alex Hormozi?
Relieved, I think, is the best way to describe it. I was not entirely sure that we were going to be in the top 10. We put a lot of energy and effort and some capital into being able to win. And I'm sure you were checking the counter right up until the launch, and we were right on the cusp of 10, 11, 9, 8. And there's a big drop off between 10 and 11 in terms of winning. Yeah, we were relieved to see that we slotted out officially in I believe slot number 8. So yeah, it was cool.
Amazing. So when you just started all those journey, you want to be an affiliate, and what was your first step?
Well, I had actually participated and won the first book contest with Alex. So I had a lot of familiarity in affiliate marketing. I also, really got my first big entrepreneurial win by winning the ClickFunnels Dream Car Award. We went from 0 to 100 affiliates in less than 100 days with no list. We were truly startup, we want to win this. So I have a pretty good background in affiliate marketing. And so, when you've proven you can win something, it's usually a good idea to just keep winning more. So that was kind of our mentality going into this contest. We said if we did it before, we can.
Amazing. So if somebody is very new to affiliate, so what will be the first advice you will give them, from where they can start?
Yeah, I have a chapter that I wrote specifically for affiliate marketing when we won the Dream Car Award. And I think all of the advice that I give in there would be just as applicable today as when I initially penned it. So if anybody wants that, just DM me on LinkedIn. I'll give it to you for free. It's no sweat off my back. But my answer is essentially, you cannot successfully be an affiliate for something you don't deeply believe in. So your first step is if you don't I really believe in what Alex offers because I put it into practice and I saw the benefit in my business. It's not just because he, is a jack bro with long hair and the nose strips and I want to be no, I believe in what he does because I've seen the impact on my life. The same thing was true with ClickFunnels. I really believed in the tool at the time. I really believed in the company at the time as well. And so these are all just, I think the precursors for whether or not you should be an affiliate is you should only sell something you legitimately believe.
Amazing. Can you give one advice which you learned from Alex and implemented also? Because lots of people learn lots of new stuff, learn in a sense, they see Alex is doing this, Russell is doing this, lots of people, but they don't implement. So my question is, what the first, one thing you have implemented also?
Well, I'll just go back to his first book. I'll give two answers to this. The first book for $100 million offers, I think it's the best example of you can read something and be that was a really good read and completely forget about it. But I read that book, I listened to that book on audio, and I read it digitally. So I consumed it 3 different ways. And the reason I did that was not just because I thought it was good information, but specifically because I wanted to implement various aspects of it, really the totality of it inside of my business. And so the first thing is when I read $100 million offers, 12 months from that period, we broke through 7 figures in revenue for the first time ever in any of my company's histories. We had never done 7 figures in revenue before. And I directly attribute that massive jump to following what was prescribed in offers. We followed the value equation and formula. We looked at our pricing. We increased it. We did basically step by step as much of that we could tactically in our business. And the second one is when I've got a video on my YouTube channel where I said, I gave Alex Hormozi $50,000. Was it worth it? And, for a lot of people who are not in business, they read a number like that and they're like, how could anything possibly be worth $50,000? Well, the answer is if it nets you $400,000, of course it was worth it. And that's from one very specific tactical thing that he shared, which is you don't have to wait till someone has consumed the entirety of your product before you make an offer for them to buy more of that product. And that was a very hard thing for me to conceptually truly want to do, because in my mind I was you only sell something after they've you must let them consume the entirety of the thing before you offer them the next thing. And so we just and I'm very public about this. We just moved the Ascension conversation for our premium core product from the end of the 16 weeks to somewhere essentially within the first 3 to 5 weeks, assuming they qualify. And our take rate on our Ascension offer more than doubled. So it went from like 30% to like 60%. And for most people, they can't even like comprehend doubling the take rate on an offer, but it usually has to do with timing, packaging, and structures. But those are two very specific things from Hermosi that I implemented.
Amazing. And it's your company called Dream Firms. So it's all related with a dream. Like one time you have a dream and then you can make your dream come true. So what exactly, how you figure it out, like the dream firm, what exactly you do in this stuff?
Yeah, I keep it pretty simple. So dream firms more or less can translate into, you can't have your dream firm if you don't have two factors. Like what are the components that go into a dream firm? And it's two things: dream clients plus dream team equals dream firm. Yeah, you can have a solopreneur lifestyle. Yeah, you could have a lot of clients that maybe don't appreciate you and what you're all about. But if you actually have people who love what you do and you love working with them, and you have a team that loves how much you pay them and loves to be hungry and come to work with you, it's hard to argue that you would need much more than that to have a dream firm. So we just get very clear on who do you want to work with? What do they want from you? How do you get it to them? How do you do it faster? How do you make sure it's a good price? And then how do you make sure you take that extra profitability to afford the talent that you would like to get you out of lower level roles and elevate into a higher aspect of running your firm as opposed to just doing all the small things. So that's basically what a dream firm is.
Amazing. And can you tell us when you started that Alex part, last year you also participated so what was the difference between this year and last year you have seen?
So the biggest difference for us is we really prioritized what I would say is like removing a specific hat from the owner, right? So obviously, analogy, we all wear too many hats. And so over the last, I guess it's close to 18 months now since the Vegas workshop, a little more than that, I have not taken a single sales call in 18 months. Now, prior to that, I had taken basically 100% of our sales calls. And so like Hermosi is known to say, when you delegate something, there's going to be about a 20% drop in efficacy. And, if you're the owner and you're doing the sales, generally are going to be the best closer on your team or in the company. So we hired a sales director. She's been doing a fantastic job. The company did not drop 20% in that time period. We actually have gone up 30% since then.
Amazing.
So yeah, I mean, that would be the main thing is I don't take sales calls anymore and we continue to grow. So huge win.
So here is my question. Like lots of time entrepreneurs has everything in his plate. The CEO founder, hey, I will do this. I am HR, oh, okay, I will do the sales call. My energy in the sales call is different as compared to. So how you delegate that and how you make sure that the quality and assurance delivery, everything is same without you?
Well, there is no easy answer to this. There's no magic oh, this one thing completely radicalized I think I redid our sales training onboarding documents 5 or 6 times by now, making them shorter, clearer, making them more specific, analyzing the call, seeing where the drop-offs are. So there is no magic solution for delegating sales or really any function, but I tend to follow a pretty simple framework, which is how do I make this foolproof? How do I make it so simple that as long as you bring the energy and the effort, we've taken care of the rest of this. And we get tons of I think one of the best measurements for did you successfully delegate this is when you hire someone, do they complement your, how well organized things are? Do they wow, my calendar is really well structured. I know exactly what to do, when to do it, how to do it, what you expect from me, when to communicate on it. If they don't have answers to those fundamental questions, they're going to be frustrated and disappointed, and they're certainly not going to actually do the thing you delegated to them. So one, limit scope, but within the scope, be very specific with what you're expecting from them, overly specific. And that usually makes a big difference, and keep revisiting and keep obviously training them on any of the shortcomings that they have.
Amazing. What was the giveaway? This time, the top 10 affiliates were getting dinner with Alex and they're getting a podcast. What was the last time giveaway? What was the offer of Alex? Can you tell our
Yeah,
viewers?
I had hoped it was this the last time. It was not nearly as well defined. I think it was just win an interview with Alex. Like it was more or less a similar sort of offer, but they weren't running the workshops yet. Like I don't even think they maybe didn't even own the building in Vegas at the time when the offer was made. Maybe they had just signed the lease, but the offer was win an interview with Alex Ramosi. I was like, that sounds pretty cool. I just wanted to that was my whole reason for winning. I was like, I just wanted to thank him for the offers book. That was my way of thanking him, not just saying thank you, but driving more people to his brand for how he changed my life. And so, yeah, I mean, more or less, we won the interview. It was it was a podcast
Online.
interview like we're doing.
Yeah.
It was digital. But what was cool from that is we got invited to the first ever in-person workshop in Vegas. And so we were the first group of people with, I don't know, 50 to 100 other business owners. And it was cool to see them kind of working out some of the kinks in the first go around. And then, yeah, we obviously signed up for their upsell after that, which is where I got that, 50K number from.
Okay, amazing. And what is the top 3 sources you got when you are promoting top 3 affiliate sources from where you get the major signups?
Yeah, great question. So I'll cover as much of this as I reasonably can because I think people are, how do you win? So the first thing is do not neglect your immediate contact list. The people that are closest to you. I think some people are ashamed. They don't want to think they're an MLM person, asking them to sign up for Herbalife. You just ask them for an email address and phone number to help you out. Don't overcomplicate it. Explain the benefit, explain what they get, why you're doing it, and send it to everybody. If you can't get 50 to 100 of your friends and family to sign up, that would be surprising to me. Again, most people just don't ask, very low bar. Second thing that we did, which is, of course, the larger your email list, the larger your social media following, it's just a numbers game. And so if you're going to promote something, you want to give people an additional incentive to actually sign up for it. So we have a 4K Facebook group, we have a 30,000 email list, and then across all other socials, you probably have 20-ish, 30-ish thousand, followers. Not huge by any stretch, but we sent hundreds of DMs. Literally every day we would send 100 plus DMs specifically about this with a dedicated landing page that explained the 5 additional high value bonuses that you get when you sign up through our affiliate link. So again, I think direct contact is criminally underutilized and stuff like this. We are ruthless when it comes to that. So direct contact would probably be number 1. And I would just summarize that as people you know and people you kind of know. And make sure you have an offer that would actually speak to them and get them excited. Second big one that we did is there are oftentimes lists you develop that most people don't even think about and don't think has any sort of value. For instance, if you have ever hired consistently for a role or any aspect of your business, you have a huge list of contacts of people who wanted to participate in something with your company, but didn't have a chance to do it. And so we just aggregated, and it was I think it was close to 6,000 or 7,000 email addresses we had. And I was almost I don't even know how many people have ever applied for a job with us, but how big is the list? And my executive assistant brought it back. She's several thousand, 7,000. I was like, wow, cool. Email all of them and say, hey, your application resurfaced. We want to be able to have an opportunity to work to see if you would be a good fit for our company. We have this one request. And as long as you do it, we guarantee that we will interview you. In other words, we guarantee we'll advance you in the interview process associated with our company. Very useful. And we found some great people through it too. Right? They're all I have to do is enter my email address and phone number and you'll interview me. And we're absolutely, 100%. So anyway, we've had a lot of interviews over the last couple of weeks, but some really, really cool people. And we're going to hire a few people from them. So anyway, A+, highly recommend that. Again, it's hidden list, neglected, give it some love. And the third big one, which I would say probably accounted for close to half of our traffic. So half on the first 2, second half on the next, is strategic relationships with other people. Similar to what you're doing right now with this podcast, right? It's who are the people that are doing similar things that you would like to tap into, get access to their audience, they get access to your audience, And so we had 3 very specific strategic relationships, 2 of which were paid, but I was happy to pay for the right to access their services/audiences. And more or less, we just gave them, dedicated affiliate links so we could track their progress, and they drove several hundred signups each.
Amazing. So like you live in Europe, France, so there is certain guidelines related to the emails. So how you tackle that?
Well, my company is all based in the US. Almost all of our emails,
Okay.
servers, and everything
Okay.
we do is based in the US. So there's plenty of laws in Europe that I'll
Yeah.
just say don't apply directly to me, purely because we don't do business in Europe.
So you hacked that already.
Yeah, I like to say we
Amazing.
found sort of not, we didn't bend the rule. The rule is questionably applied to us. It's just like, yeah, I live here, but we don't send email. Like, we don't have GDPR. Like, I'm not emailing people in Europe with these offers, if that makes sense.
Amazing. And like I'm an AI guy. Did you use any of the AI tool to do this campaign?
We use some, one of the partners we used is very big on outbound email and cold email, pretty sharp guy. And so I know that he used some AI syntax in the context of the emails he was sending. I didn't personally set it up, but I do know that it was
Okay.
leveraged.
Okay. Amazing. And I have seen like you got your playbooks also, like even I got mine. So can you show it to the audience? Like
This is not even like half of them, but it's this enormous binder. There's
yeah.
even more in there, but yeah, we've got a lot of them. Lot of stuff to go through.
Right. So which one you like most?
I wish I could give a more well-refined answer. I will simply plead that I got these like yesterday or the day before. And so I've only read
Yeah.
one of them all the way through. And it's the one that I already know the best because it's the closing tactical playbook. But I just wanted to make sure there was nothing that I was missing, something that I would have thought, just double check everything essentially in that particular vein. But I'm very excited to get deeper into the leads machine as well as anything related to essentially like more leads.
Amazing. So like I have one question over here. Like when you read those playbooks, any of the stuff, so how you did like, okay, so you make points like, okay, this now I need to implement in my business. How exactly? Because reading is one thing and implementing, which we already talked. So what's your way of style of consuming it and implementing it?
Yeah, great question. So I had this quote that was given to me very early in my entrepreneurial career by, I think his name is Brad Martineau. Success is the speed of implementation. And I've always loved that quote because if it's not, and again, what does implementation mean? Hermosi 101, like how do you break something down into like an actual like useful term instead of like implementation systems? Like these are all just like highbrow things. No one really knows what they mean. But implementation to me is like it's in the market. It's being used on a regular basis. And so that's my like measuring stick of like if I read or consume something and I go, that's great. Like I saw inside of the acquisition school group for the crazy people like me who donated 800 books. There was this very specific thing about lead scoring related to credit scores. And I was like, this is great because lead scoring is not something we do, but it's something that I feel is overly complicated. And I was like, this is a simple solution to get to lead scoring. And so all I did is I took a screenshot of the post. I put it in my communication channel with my sales director. And so the way that I'm going to look at whether it's, closing technique from the closing manual or whether it's something I pick up from the group is if I share it with the person and I assign them ownership or responsibility, or I take ownership or responsibility, the question is always, how long does it take for us to make this live, how to get it into the market? So I try and keep those, within a couple of business days, because if it goes longer than that, it gets forgotten and swept away. So we try and keep very tight timelines on turnarounds.
Amazing. So which software you use to communicate with your team? Do you create SOPs and other stuff? How exactly?
Yeah, we use Slack and ClickUp. Slack for team comms, ClickUp for workflow management. And then we're very big users of High Level as well. We build that out for our clients. We use it internally. I just think it's arguably the best marketing facing CRM in the game right now. And I don't think anything else is particularly close.
Yeah, even I have it with on the name of Funnels AI. So are you coming to GHL event as well this time?
I've never been to any of the GHL events.
Yeah.
I would consider going to one. I think they run one in London occasionally, but Perhaps. I'm not really in the ecosystem that much. I love the tool, but like in terms of like being a part of like the user base and the community and the awards, and I'm kind of just focused on my company. So like I used to be much more into that stuff like ClickFunnels, but I've kind of checked out of like conferences in the last couple of years.
It's just like I think 4 to 5 days before the Hamos event. It's in Dallas.
That's duly noted. Thanks for that. I might make it happen then. That sounds like a cool back-to-back then, but I also have young children, so we'll see.
Okay, done. Sounds great. And here, like, I have one question. Like, if someone, there is one thing called services and there is one thing called SaaS and there is the third thing called affiliate. So what would you rank from 1 to 3? Like, what's your first, second, third priority?
In terms of opportunities, or for us as a business, or for like a new person? Like, what's
for a new person who's coming new into the marketing?
Yeah, honestly, I think the path that I walked is the one that I would recommend for most people. It's hard enough to get good at all the different things that you need to like gain traction in a business. But if you can start with selling someone else's service as an affiliate, just think of it as like you're basically like a commission-only sales rep. I think that's a great starting point, because think of the affiliate offer as your intro offer. It's just a way to get people to trust you, get them to start to use a tool that you believe in, or a book you believe in, or whatever. It doesn't really make that big of a difference. It's just like, I agree with this. If you agree with it, cool, maybe we can work together a bit more. I can give you a few extra things when you sign up for this. Once you do that, you basically have just positioned yourself in the service space. Like you by selling affiliate related things, right, you now likely would like to keep them as affiliates. You would like to keep them in the ecosystem, keep them spending money with a software company, because you likely will keep making money from it. So I think it's kind of like a 1-2. I try not to separate them too much. I find people who like are exclusively affiliates kind of just chase affiliate offers. Like they don't really believe in a lot of the things that they do. They're just like, this one all makes better commission, so I'm going to promote it. And then they shift to something else. And so I think the core business will always be related to like the service you provide that makes your recommendations valuable. And after you do that, again, like if you recommend high level, your services are based around high level. So you don't even need to develop a SaaS. Like I think that's probably a tremendous waste of time and energy for like 99% of people, unless you're like the 1% of software developers who like wants to learn business and can code, or you're the 1% of people who are very good at like strategically negotiating partnership deals or partnership arrangements with a developer. Maybe consider pursuing SaaS, but I think almost everybody would be better off doing a safer, more predictable path of affiliates stacked with service offerings.
Amazing. And we all knew that like while we are doing the work, even if we go to Vegas also, Alex will gonna sell something on the launch day, right? So we all know as a marketer, like there will be something. So what was your in mind while going to that 8K offer? You already knew that something gonna Alex sell us.
Well, I wasn't 100% sure, because on the last book launch, there wasn't, as far as I remember, there was no sale. I mean, there was the launch of the book.
Everything free.
So everything was free. So
he twisted everything.
I wasn't really expecting there to be a paid offer. The psychology switch between give me money to donate and be a part of my mission was just masterful. I thought it was just such a clever approach. And, there probably wasn't going to be much that he would have said that would have made me not buy it. Like, I like being a part of the guy's ecosystem. I like being a part of what he does. Like, I like meeting people like you. I think that there's a lot of like just awesome, like-minded entrepreneurs that are following the same sort of path. And so, yeah, I mean, I really thought the offer was great. But like I said, I wasn't even sure he was going to make one. I was happy he did. And yeah, I mean, all the money I've spent with him so far has been good money. So I had no reason to not double down. So I was like, let me double down and see what happens. And I'm pretty excited for the early outset of it so far.
Amazing. And one thing you learned from the school community after joining that?
So I did mention the lead scoring piece,
the screenshot,
but Another thing that I thought was really interesting, just to piggyback on that, because really it was like a 1-2, two posts pretty close together. One was on the lead scoring with credit scores. And then the other one was a person talking about how they use the lead scoring system that the other person talked about for credit scores, but they couple that with having pre-approved financing partners so that if they already know the person's credit score before they come on the call, basically money no longer becomes an objection because they already know that they've got 12 to 24-month interest-free loans that they can basically have set up, ready to go at close. And, they said it more or less doubled their closing percentage because nobody was able to say that, oh, I can't afford it. They're like, we have this option. Yes, you can. So I haven't put that into play yet, but I do like the general concept associated with it, which is, hey, be resourceful. Don't worry about the resources you have. And that applies to the company as much as it does to the buyer. It's like if we're resourceful on their behalf, they will also now have access to the resources that they would need to get invested. Plus, you get paid directly from the vendor, so you have less chargebacks, you have less back and forth. Obviously, there are additional terms and conditions associated with those types of deals, but that is something that I'm excited to roll out in the next couple of weeks here.
Even I got a good tip from here also in learning, because I used to do lead scoring, but if we do it with the credit system, like how many time he has purchased and other stuff, I will get like better decision making while pitching up a right product to right audience.
Exactly.
Thanks for that. And what exactly you do, like, and if a viewer wants to connect with you, which is the best platform where they can connect with you?
Yeah, for sure. So long story short, Dream Firms is where we help entrepreneurial accountants to attract, win, and retain the business of their dream clients. If you're an accountant, just go straight to the website and book a call. We'd love to learn more about your firm and see if we're a good fit. Alternatively, if you're a business owner, like most of the people I imagine on here are, and you recognize your accountant is maybe not up to date with the way things could be running to be more efficient in your firm, to have recommended tax saving strategies, if you feel like you don't know what your LTV to CAC ratio is, right? Like if you would like more modern day accounting principles readily at your fingertips, just reach out to us through LinkedIn, Facebook, just send us a DM, be like, I'd love for you guys to connect me with an amazing accountant. And as long as we know your niche, we'll have a niche accountant, again, specific to your industry, whether it's digital marketing, e-commerce, AI. And we'll say, hey, this accountant actually knows this space, knows the metrics. You should book a call and talk to them. So basically connect with us on social. If you're any of those things, just at Dream Firms, and we'll be happy to help you out one way or the other.
Amazing. And I will put all those in the description also, so that the people who are watching this go and click over there. And thank you so much for joining the show, and thank you. It's like valuable insights for me.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for the opportunity. And hey, man, can't wait to meet you in Vegas.
Yeah. See you in the Vegas, man.